The palace was alive with the soft hum of late-night activity, but Sheikh Hamdan's world had shrunk to the glow of his phone screen. He had searched for her name, eager to see her latest pictures, to read her thoughts, to feel connected in the small ways that mattered. But instead, the words glared back at him like a cold wall. Your profile is locked. His breath caught, not because of the privacy setting, but because of what it meant. Somewhere between yesterday and today, she had decided to close a door he desperately wanted to keep open. He leaned back in his chair, staring at the screen as if it might change if he willed it hard enough. Locked. The word felt heavier than it should. Was it anger? Disappointment? A quiet goodbye she couldn't bring herself to say out loud? His fingers hovered over the keyboard, wanting to send a message, yet unsure if it would even be seen. Still, the silence between them felt unbearable. Taking a deep breath, he began to write, not on the app, but on paper. Paper felt more real, more human. If you've locked me out, he wrote softly, I hope it's not because you think my feelings have changed. They haven't, not for a moment. The truth is, you've been my constant in a world that changes every day. He paused, letting the memories rush in. He remembered how her posts had once been tiny windows into her life. Her smile in the sunlight, her thoughts on a rainy day, her quiet moments of reflection. Even in the distance, he had felt close to her. Now, those windows were closed, and it felt as if the light inside had gone out. I miss the little pieces of you, he continued, because those pieces were everything to me. His mind wandered to the possibility that she was hurting. Maybe she locked her profile not to push him away, but to protect herself. He thought about the times when public eyes and whispered gossip had cast shadows over their connection. Maybe she just needed peace, away from the prying world that was always too eager to judge. But there was another fear, one that gripped him harder. What if she had locked him out because she was done with him? The thought tore at his chest. If that's the case, he wrote, then I need you to know, before this chapter closes, that you were never a mistake. You were my best decision. The ink on the page carried the weight of his sincerity. He spoke of the nights he had stayed up just to see her online, the joy of reading her messages, the quiet comfort in knowing she was somewhere out there thinking of him too. Even when we weren't speaking, he wrote, your presence was like the moon, distant, but always there. He reminded her of the times she had been his anchor without even realizing it. When the pressures of royalty pressed against his chest, he would scroll through her posts, finding refuge in her words, her laughter, her unfiltered truths. Your profile wasn't just a page, he confessed, it was my sanctuary. And then, in a moment of raw vulnerability, he admitted what he feared most. If I've hurt you, tell me. Don't shut me out. I can handle your anger, your sadness, even your silence, but this locked door feels like the end, and I'm not ready to let go. He poured out his hope like water into the desert. He told her that he still believed in what they had, that walls could be unlocked, and hearts could be reopened. Even if you've locked me out for now, he wrote, I will wait at the gate until you're ready to let me back in. By the time he reached the last paragraph, the paper was full, and so was his heart. He knew she might never read these words, yet writing them felt like a way of keeping her close. No matter what you decide, he ended, you will always be the one I search for, the one my heart remembers in every crowd. He folded the letter carefully and set it aside, the quiet night pressing in around him. The phone still lay on the desk, her locked profile a reminder of the distance between them. Yet, in his heart, he whispered the only truth that mattered. Locked or not, you still have all of me. Somewhere in the silence, he hoped that she, too, was staring at a screen, thinking of him. And maybe, just maybe, the key to that locked door still rested in her hands, waiting for the day she would choose to use it. The letter sat on his desk like a silent witness to his longing, but Sheikh Hamdan couldn't bring himself to send it yet. It wasn't fear of rejection, it was the fragile hope that maybe she would reach out first. Days passed in an uneasy stillness. Every time his phone buzzed, his heart leapt, only to fall again when it wasn't her. Still, he kept the letter close, as if its presence could somehow bridge the gap between them. Then, one late evening, as the city lights shimmered across the palace gardens, his phone lit up with a notification that made him freeze. It was from her. Not a public post, but a private message. His fingers hovered over the screen, his pulse pounding in his ears. The message was short, I read your words. That was all. But those 4 words felt like an open window in a room he thought was sealed forever. He replied almost instantly, though he tried to keep his tone calm. "Then you know," he wrote, "that everything I said was from the deepest part of me." She didn't respond right away, but he could see the small indicator that she was still online. His heart clung to the possibility that she was thinking, perhaps even struggling with her own emotions. When her next message arrived, it was longer. She told him that locking her profile wasn't about shutting him out, but about shielding herself from the noise of the outside world. The pressure, the gossip, the constant scrutiny, it had become too much. "I needed a place where I could breathe," she wrote. "But I never wanted to make you feel unwanted." He felt his chest loosen as he read her words. It wasn't rejection, it was self-preservation. And yet, he could sense the unspoken hurt behind her explanation. She admitted she had been unsure whether his feelings were still as strong, given the distance between them. "I thought maybe you had moved on," she confessed. "And I didn't want to watch it happen from the other side of a screen." His reply came without hesitation. "Moved on? My heart doesn't know how. I have been here, waiting for you, even when I didn't know if you'd return." He went on to tell her about the empty nights, the way he had memorized her old posts like sacred verses, the way her absence had carved a space inside him that nothing else could fill. She read his message in silence for several minutes before responding. "I didn't know you felt it that deeply," she wrote. "I thought I was just a passing chapter." That broke something in him, not because it was true, but because she had ever believed it. "You are not a chapter," he typed back quickly, "you are the book. Every page, every word, every ending and beginning, it's all you." There was a pause before her next reply, but when it came, it felt like a shift in the air. "If I unlock my profile, it won't change the noise around us," she warned. "But maybe it's time I stop hiding from it." Her words were cautious, but there was a trace of hope threaded through them. He told her that the noise didn't matter, not when they had each other. "They can talk," he said, "but they don't know what we know. They haven't felt what we've felt. Let them watch if they want. I'll never be ashamed to be seen loving you." His confidence seemed to stir something in her, because her next message was just 2 words, "I'm ready." Within minutes, he refreshed her profile, and there it was, unlocked. Every post, every picture, every piece of her life was open to him again, and he felt as though the sun had broken through weeks of heavy clouds. He scrolled slowly, savoring each detail, like someone rediscovering a lost treasure. That night, they stayed up talking until the early hours. They didn't discuss royal politics, public opinion, or the eyes of the world. They spoke about favorite books, places they wanted to travel together, silly memories that made them laugh until their cheeks hurt. It was as if unlocking her profile had unlocked something in their hearts too. Before they said goodnight, she told him, "I'm still learning to be brave in this. But if you're with me, I think I can be." His reply was quiet but certain, "I'm not just with you, I'm yours. Completely." And in that moment, the distance between the palace and her small apartment felt like nothing at all. As he lay in bed, phone still warm in his hand, Sheikh Hamdan realized the truth. Sometimes a locked profile isn't a wall, it's just a door waiting for the right key. And in her eyes, he had always been that key. Somewhere on the other side of the city, she smiled at her screen, her heart lighter than it had been in months. She knew now that no matter what the world thought, some connections were too powerful to break. And just before drifting to sleep, they both whispered the same thought into the quiet night, as if the words could find each other in the darkness. This is only the beginning.